Alright, I'm gonna close Twitter for the time being, so I don't feel the need to interact with folks on there in between. Alright, what does this hand do? What does this hand do? This hand's probably a mulligan, right? I guess maybe you could argue we could keep it, because it's got like Force Blue card plus a Lightning Bolt for a fair deck. Like, we have the card our deck's named after. This deck's, like, not super aggressive. It's just, like, using Vial Smasher to, like, control the board. Or using Vial Smasher for reach in the mid to late game. This might actually be fine. This might actually be fine. I'm going to keep this on the draw. I feel like it's hard to pass up Force against a random, like, you know, all-in Belcher type thing. We have a Bolt as well, in case they're doing something fair. Grim Monolith. I'm pretty sure you're just supposed to let the ramp resolve in these matchups. Just counter their payoff. Watch him have like a second Chalice of the Void for one here. Nope. Key plus this is pretty good for them though. They get to make a lot of mana pretty consistently. We have 2 copies of Kolaghan's Command. We do. Sorcerer Spyglass resolves. Enjoy my fetchless hand. Eldrazi Post makes sense. Named Wasteland. I guess I could hit a Deathrite Shaman here. Hey, Benu, thank you very much for the 3-month resubscription. I do appreciate that. Welcome back. Welcome back. That is not a blue card to pair with that Force of Will. They're probably not going to kill the first Vial Smasher. Yeah, that is a Cloud Post. It's a promo post. I'm going to put back these 2 and plan to shuffle, I think. Yeah, it looks like a Magic Online promo. Is it FNM promo too? Makes sense. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's having a good weekend. Happy Sunday. Got a few different Legacy decks to play through today. Starting with Vial Smasher, which you can actually play in paper now because you can get a proxy for it. Alright, we're going to crack this fetch in response here. Don't want to get wastelanded here. We don't really have too many things for this to name. We pitched our Jace to a Force of Will earlier, so it's like just Deathrite Shaman left in our deck. Opponent concedes to the Kolaghan's Command. 30k viewers. For reference, the Modern Pro Tour peaked at 46,000 viewers, so welcome to Standard. Immortal is our Twitch baby potty trained Jet Jeff. Use my tier 2 sub towards the deck labeled Footloose, because that looks like a dumpster fire. Will do. Will do. 1, there are 75 decks in the queue. Damn. 2, who donated for Teferi Stasis, and why did I make a deal to not donate? I actually can't change decks today. So even if you didn't have a thing going on and you wanted to jump something in the queue, I literally can't jump things in the queue right now because MTG or Magic Online fucked up MTGO Trader's account and they actually can't fulfill orders. The only reason I'm able to stream right now at this very moment is because JMP and Rogue were able to provide me with cards for this deck. Murderous Cut seems great here. I think Fatal Push is fine just because, like, fetch Fatal Push kills Thoughtseer. Edict seems fine. Honestly, Deluge might even be okay too. The Blood Moons are definitely great, right? No, actually, I have decks for 3 leagues. We're gonna play Vial Smasher, Turbo Depths, and Miracles. JMP had a lot of legacy stuff. Yeah, so apparently MTGO traders bought enough cards from... Is that Pithing Needle matchup? Probably not, because a lot of their stuff's mana abilities, so I would want to do that too anyways, right? Apparently, MTGO traders bought enough tickets from them that they triggered one of the internal, like, fraud flags that MTGO has. Which, you know, why would you have one of your biggest customers exempt from your fraud flags? That would just make too much sense. Watching Standard especially really makes me appreciate just like how much Stumble and Die and Mulligan and Die and Flood and Die. There's a lot of variance in Die going on this weekend. What's going on? I think you should play Goblin Shade Whirler. Well, it would deal 3 damage with my other thing. This hand seems fine. Is it actually fine? I guess it's kind of medium against, I guess it can cast its spells, and we can fetch 2 basics if we draw our Blood Moon. Is the Stream Decker not updated? Did I forget to update? I probably forgot to update Stream Decker, actually. Alright, that's fixed. Definitely forgot to update it. That's a great draw. Put my tier 3 sub towards a Griselbrand League. 10 out of 10. I did in fact miss that. Thank you for bringing it up, Stinger. Cast this Punder. Kolaghan's command sounds great. I definitely don't need another Vial Smasher, so we're actually going to stack this. Oh, that was actually wrong. I should have drawn the island this turn, just in case I, like, play a Thoughtseize somehow. So now we'll draw this island, and then this Delta will fetch a... Oh, you know what? I should have played the Scalding Tarn here, because if they cast something, I might want to Logic Knot them. Okay, we're not Logic Knotting. We're not Logic Knotting. Tier 3 subs don't count as such. Did you just upgrade your sub, Justin? You want it to go towards Teferi Stasis? Alright, I guess I actually need a red source here, right? So this is gonna fetch a Volk for us. This is gonna fetch a Volk for us. Anybody else having stereo audio issues or just Brainsmog? I definitely didn't change anything in my setup. Thanks for the memes and dreams. Thank you very much for the two months at the tier 3 resubscription. I appreciate that, Weebarmy. Be sure to let me know what deck you'd like me to throw in the queue for you. Yeah, Hexes. I see people talking about Hex's Immortal Gauntlets in chat. I'm pretty pumped to play some Immortal in Hex. Starting, I don't know if we're going to get to it strictly tomorrow, but some point this week we're going to play some Immortal. I'm probably going to be streaming some of their Immortal format on the regular moving forward. Do I want to counter this? I should probably counter this unless they pay 1, right? There's no reason to overdelve. Like I have Vial Smasher in play. Also, burning the Logic not there is important because they're probably going to have more mana here. I know you're kind of saying that as a joke, but it's like actually a real question, right? Do I want a Cabal Therapy here? I kind of don't want to. Awesome, Trevor. That's great. I have a Kolaghan's command, so I could like Kolaghan's. My question is like, if I want a Therapy, I can Kolaghan's command them this turn. Alternatively, I could play this. I don't hate just playing the Vial Smasher here, honestly. Just like getting a clock into play. Then like I can force something and deal 5 to them next turn and kill them pretty quickly. Sanu Yummy with the brand new Twitch Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great content on Twitch right now. I appreciate you supporting my stuff here this month. Pikesend, the Immortal doesn't really have a very sculpted metagame because there's the format hasn't seen a ton of play to date, so they're probably more than a little out of date. Spatial Contortion. Do I want to keep old Vial Smashy around? I erase them pretty quickly, right? Like if I force this here, then they're going to 16, and then K Command can deal 5 next turn. I can just buy it back with Kolaghan's command. That's true. I can just buy it back with K Command. Yeah, I'm pretty confident that my plan of like force their threats is correct. Pretty sure we're just supposed to force the threats. It's another. It's gonna be an X spell. It's an X spell. It feels like an X spell based on Moto. Chalice for 3. Well, that one can't resolve. Stop it. Just something with Twitch Prime allow me to do with the donation deck. Can I add democracy? So, tier 1 subs and Twitch Prime subs don't get free points to add to anything, but they do allow you to put new decks in the queue. All the details on how donation decks work are here. The tokens deck should be coming up pretty soon. That one's towards the top anyways, right? It's like, yeah, it's second in the list of modern decks right now. Jace, the Wallet Sculptor. I kind of just want to Kolaghan's command here and pick this back up. And then, like, Therapy them, name, like, Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger. Because Ulamog feels like the card that really puts me away here, right? It's like, name the card I can't beat. I pretty much just play whatever people pay me to play. So if you're interested in seeing something specific and you'd like to donate for it, you can definitely drop me a message and see if it's something I'm willing to play. Unless it's standard. Yeah, we don't really play standard. Standard doesn't seem particularly interesting. Jeff, I double sub, I think, with Twitch Prime and a tier 3 sub. Does that get me too awful to know? No, it does not, Justin. You get one terrible deck per month. You know the rules. All right, so I'm going to name Ulamog here. Ceaseless Hunger is the 10-mana one, right? Eugene. All right, let's move on to the next one here. I feel like I kind of want this Thoughtseize on the play. I'm going to trim a bolt. We haven't actually seen Thought-Knot Seer out of them. They probably have it, but we haven't actually seen it yet. I got some bad news, Justin. Life's not very fair. Eugene is gonna give it to us. You're not wrong. Oh, needle for Ugin. Okay, yeah, I like that. And it does tag Voltaic Key. Yeah, maybe the needle's reasonable. Buy that for $1. This hand needs another land, but like if it hits another land, it's pretty good. We have a bunch of cantrips in our deck too. Have a False of Vial as well. Thanks for 3 months of quick concedes, moto bugs, and Shane Whirlers. Keep up the awesome streak. Thanks for the 3-month 3 subscription mode. Welcome back. Welcome back. The real question is, if they play something we want to force next turn, do we force pitching Logic Knot, or do we force pitching Force? I think we're supposed to pitch the Logic Knot. Playing some Legacy today. That one's fine. That one resolves. If we draw a land here, I'm pretty sure we're casting Blood Moon. Survey says. Is Goblin Chain Whirler actually the problem? Like, the problem is... Like, the actual issue is... What's his name, right? The actual issue is Hazoret. So I don't need to... I have this Force of Will, so I don't need to jam just yet. So they have a Vesuva. And they have a Thran and a Temple. This is gonna cast the Thran. Do I just counter this? I think I counter this, right? That leaves them with these two, and then like I Blood Moon them and they have nothing. Five you. Was it good for you, opponent? It was good for me. We were gonna kill them very quickly. This card, man, coffee's for fucking closers, and this card's getting himself a cup of joe. I'm just gonna hold that so we can cast this Force of Will and kill them. Trigger. Alright, so there's dead to Force. They're going to 5, then they're dead to cast Force Trigger. Even if they could get out of this in some other way. Cast a spell. Do it. Yeah, he does. I mean, that was like 8 points of damage, right? We didn't even do anything silly with like a Gurmag Angler or anything. Yeah, the Force doesn't even have to resolve. Just the Vial Smasher trigger is lethal. I'm gonna stand up for a little bit. Let's ring it out, chat. Yeah, you can actually play Vial Smasher in paper now because they'll give you an official proxy. Previously, Promise entering now is red as the best creatures and black has the best removal. I don't know why people find it necessary to be rude in MTGO chat. I am looking forward to being able to disable MTGO chat. That'll be a nice feature. Like sometimes when you get got by Vial Smasher, it drives you to do terrible, terrible things. Say terrible things. It's okay. It's okay. Hey, Brian, thanks for the bits. Afternoon, evening, because it's 2 o'clock. Does that count? It's 2 o'clock, it's evening somewhere. One p.m. That's that time zone. You're in that time zone that exists between cornfield time and the West Coast. Oh, you're East Coast. Okay, that's a real time zone. The time zone that exists like between cornfield time and the West Coast. That's like this strange mystery place. All right, what are we doing? What's the term? I'm pretty sure we don't probe because I want to probe on 2 and get a Pyromancer token. I'm trying to think about how I want to sequence my lands. I'm pretty sure I want to sequence this for a swamp on 1, just in case they're like some kind of random Blood Moon deck. Pretty low opportunity cost getting a swamp on 1 here, I think. Which was previously 4 time zones. My favorite part about getting Gitaxian probed in Legacy is that I get to press my auto pass hotkey and not bluff Force of Will. That might be the single worst thing about playing Legacy online, is that if you're playing optimally, you're obligated to like not spam auto pass. Alright, so looks like Turbo Depths. Make a red Muna. Cast Dr. Peasy. Find out how quickly we're dying. Take the opponent's pants and pull them down. Show me all of your secrets, opponent. You're making a 2020 next turn. Next turn, and you have the Sajiri step. Yeah, we played, someone submitted like a Splinter Twin style shell, and it was really terrible. I believe we're just drawing dead, right? I'm on the literal 0 outer at this point. Yeah, we are on the literal 0 outer. I have a Diabolic Edict and 2 copies of Blood Moon, along with a little bit of prayer. A little bit of prayer goes a long way, chat. Are Flusterstorm supposed to come in here? Probably. Bolts and Fatal Pushes are pretty bad. These Kolaghan's commands are pretty bad. Pithing Needle is excellent, right? We can name Thespian Stage. Bonfire of the Dam doesn't accomplish much. Do I want Surgical Extraction? My opponent is playing magic cards. This is probably fine. It's not, like, super exciting, but it's just fine, I think. It's like another crappy Gitaxian Probe. Should we need to look at their hand before we Cabal Therapy them? Yeah, Bonfire's really clunky, though. I feel like I have cards that I can bring in as, like, meaningful disruption, rather than have Bonfire of the Damned in my deck. Just deluge them for 20, right? So I tweeted a comment about the weird, like, I don't even know what to call it specifically. This hand, I just can't keep this hand right. About the parody of something apparently called Drunk History that they did at the Pro Tour, and like the number of people that are like, no, this is fine, it's great. Like, I can't even imagine what they had to pitch to their uppers at WotC to be like, no, we're gonna parody this thing called Drunk History and put it on our professional tour stream. That's what we want to be doing. And I was like, I wonder who approved that one. Do I enjoy the Pauper format? Pauper's okay. It's kind of a slog. And I definitely understand that some people could find it funny, and like I could see parts of it being amusing. I didn't watch it front to back. It came off to me as it wasn't professional, you know? Like, it came off to me as like, this is like a ha-ha joke, funny thing that like we would make between friends, like at summer theater camp, and it would be funny, right? Fun fact, Mark Rosewater is on the record saying that the Pro and Pro Tour does stand for professional. So while I make fun of it here on the stream all the time, the actual case in point is that it does in fact stand for professional. So I get that it's a funny joke. I've definitely made that joke on stream before, but like, again, this is Wizards of the Coast making decisions for what's supposed to be like the penultimate of their promotion products that they're promoting as a professional environment. I guess the Jace is pretty good, right? He like, he can unsummon stuff. I might name crop rotation here if this resolves, I think. Feels like I've done nothing. I have a crop rotation hand. They're gonna hit the Karn button. It's hard to get Karned in this format, which is nice. Ooh, look at that. Big Hoogs with the Soul Read. Get him. Get him. That's great. Okay, what do we care about? What do you think of the rest of these cards? Sylvan Scrying is the only other card that gets them a combo piece. Am I supposed to just cash in Dr. Shaman here? Cashing in Dr. Shaman means that I can't cash Jace guaranteed next turn. It's interesting. I could also like get duressed next turn potentially. I guess I did just put a land back on top of my deck, right? So I could cast this Brainstorm, hide the Jace, keep the land in my hand. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cast this Brainstorm, even though I know the top two cards of my deck here. And so we're going to cast this knowing the top two cards of my deck. And we're actually going to keep, two lands in my hand. So this way when they duress us next turn, they miss. There's a pretty good chance we get duress next turn. No, Traders still doesn't have access to all of their cards in trading. Which is absurd. Like, I understand, like, having a policy in place to prevent credit card fraud from people buying lots of tickets. But, like, the fact that, one, their power users, they're effectively whales, don't have a free pass to spend as much money as they want. And then, two, if a person had a legitimate use and, like, gave you money for a reason, you should probably prioritize unlocking their fucking account. Will Snipe for Food, thank you for the 20-month resubscription. I do appreciate that. Welcome back. You can flashback therapy through Ground Seal, but you can't make mana with Deathrite Shaman through Ground Seal. Faithless Looting, thanks for the resub. You need to refresh your browser page and then hit the send button. You need to refresh your browser page and hit the send button. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and Brainstorm here because that's a way of life. I'm going to leave them the Thoughtseize. They want to duress me next turn. Gotta take notes from Jake and Declan on how to act. What's going on, Billy? Howdy. Feels good to be able to spear. Well, thanks for the 3 months, Faithless. You have that wild gem there. Actually, your gem changed when you refresh, which is cute. Alright, so they arrest me, so they have Spirit Guide plus 1 card I don't know here. So we're really digging for a Blood Moon, basically. They have Crop Rotation they could theoretically get us here. That's pretty good. Needle, I think I want to hold up Hardcast Force of Will here. And just, like, work towards my Blood Moon. Do I have to take a break and plus this Jace for a turn? It's kind of annoying. We hardcasting Spirit Guide? God, cast Grey Ogre, respond with 5 mana for Force of Will. I'm glad to be catching you on Twitch, but I'm still getting a lot of the sweet, sweet YouTube. Did you know you can like and subscribe here? It's even available when Jeff isn't. Thank you for the 4-month resubscription, Desi Shoes. Glad you're able to drop in for a live one. Thanks for the continued support while you're watching the YouTube stuff. These are like how Richard Garfield wanted these cards to be cast, right? Pay 5 mana for Force, cast Elvis Spirit Guide. Good evening, Jeff. Finally have something decent to watch. Please put this towards 10 Footsteps. Sounds good, Jay Miller. Will too. Thanks for the support. Yeah. Just... Hey, Big Beanie Cap, tuning into an empty cup. Thanks for the bits. Does Standard lack variety because of card selection or of research? I mean, you know... So here's some food for thought, chat. Here's some food for disgusting thought. Did you know that when Wizards of the Coast designed the current standard format, Ramanap Runes was legal? They didn't know they were going to ban that card. They thought these red decks were okay with Ramanap Runes and Thrashing, or Rage Rampaging Frostodon, or whatever it's called. It doesn't matter is why. Still legendary. Oh, now if they kill the Blood Moon, they get a thing. That's true. I didn't think about that. I guess I Brainstorm and then I can ponder to shuffle the Brainstorm. Yes, we can ponder to shuffle the Brainstorm. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Brainstorm. Oh, right. He's technically our first spell, right? I'm going to any order and shuffle those, methinks. Hold on to that one. Maybe Brainstorm away later. Is their last card Abrupt Decay? Holy shit, their last card is fucking Abrupt Decay. Oh, man. I forgot about the interaction with Blood Moon and Dark Depth when I topped that depth, so that was definitely a mistake on my part, not bottoming the second Dark. I was like, my brain went to, they already have a Dark Depths, giving them this gives them a redundant combo piece, but the new interaction with Blood Moon and Dark Depths puts the new Dark Depths into play with 0 counters under Blood Moon, so that was definitely a mistake on my part. I think that was my game to lose, and I took the wrong line and lost it. No guarantee that, like, we were going to win the third game in that set, but I definitely think that second game could have been won with better play. If I'd have thought a little bit harder about what exactly my cards meant. It seems fine, right? Legacy Staple Logic not in it. They did it during my end of turn, so they were going to have a token on their turn and kill me with it. It makes me so happy when people make mistakes in the top 8 and the finals of the Pro Tour, because it gives me very clear things to point out when assholes like to say things like, there's only bad players in the friendly leagues. The competitive leagues are all good Magic players. Blurga, blurga, blurga. And it's like, well, Magic's a complicated game, and you're gonna see mistakes happen at all levels, including the finals of a Pro Tour. Because not only is there pressure, but there's just a lot of things going on, a lot of things to keep track of. And when you have a lot of things going through your mind, it's very easy to miss things that are especially look simple from an outside perspective. And I feel like a lot of the people that cast a lot of those stones about these plays being easy to make and like, why did they make that mistake? Like, have never been in one of those high pressure situations, right? Yeah, like the Hazoret 1 or 2 PTs ago. It was 2 PTs ago, right? Because the last PT was modern. No, I think bottoming the other depths just because how it interacted with Blood Moon was fine. What's going on, Darth? I think we're just gonna probe here, just like find out what Misty Rainforest means. Misty Rainforest could mean a lot of things in this format. And I've Gitaxian probed my opponent, and I still have no idea what they're playing. This could be 4-color control, this could be Delver, this could be Storm. Nobody knows. The Bloodstained Mire probably means it's not Delver. Probably means Storm or 4-color mush, Delver, Deathrite Shaman mush. It's likely. Oh lordy! Oh baby! Oh baby! We are gonna force the shit out of this Brainstorm when they cast it. Who is ready to force the shit out of this Brainstorm? Let me tell you about cards that are obnoxious in Legacy. Gitaxian Probe is obnoxious in Legacy. What if, opponent, I suggested you don't cast have any more spells in your hand? What if we got rid of your spells? What's going on, Big Beanie Cap? Thank you for the bits. I appreciate it. Nope. Use my no button on that one. Because I know the end of this story, and it's take your brainstorms away. Incoming concession. Nah, they're gonna slog it out. Yeah. Oh, look at that. We hit on the therapy the first time. We're so lucky. If we draw a fetch land next turn, we could cast this Gurmag Angler. Frost with the 2-month Twitch Prime resubscription. Thanks for re-upping and welcome back. I do appreciate that. Welcome. You're a wizard, Harry. I'm going to cast this off the basic island, because if we hit another probe or a Deathrite Shaman, I can cast that. Is it just Deathrite Shaman? Yeah, certainly, right? Certainly Deathrite Shaman. Dr. Shaman, PhD. Hey, take this as an opportunity to request I join for an updated Bloods. Maybe send me the deck list. That deck was kind of hot garbage the last 2 times we played it. So send me your new ideas. I'm not going to guarantee I say yes, but I'll consider it once I see it. Is what I will say. I will consider it once I see it. How far into the day are we? Are 40 minutes into this league. We are in our 3rd match, and I'm planning to play 2 to 3 Legacy Leagues this evening. I'm a KCCCC. Thank you very much for the Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great content on Twitch. Thanks for supporting my stuff here this month. You know what? I should probably cast this first, right? Because we can get days now. Am I going to be at SCGCon next weekend? I am not. I haven't played enough SCG events this year to be qualified for their invitational, and I have no desire to play No Ban Less Modern. No Ban Less Modern sounds like a really miserable format to play. At least in Vintage, we get to have Force of Will. Bellic, did you have a question that I missed? Chat, what is the Mac Weldon link again? bit.ly/Hulu close is the Zim Mac Weldon link. They are playing Storm. Are we dead? Is this an ad nauseum and then a kill me? That's unfortunate. It's a pretty good series of draws. Stone cold nothing. Ritual ad nauseum, kill you. Yep. It's unfortunate. It's a shame we didn't have another fetch land in there, because if we would have gotten to cast this Gurmag Angler, we would have put them in the range of not being able to do anything with this Vial Smasher. Yeah, they hit LED, Tutor, Ritual. Yeah, we're deterministically dead. All right, I got some toys here. Got some toys. This might be too slow. I don't know. Let's see how everything lines up here. The bolts and the pushes come out. The Kolaghan's command comes out. The bonfires probably stay in, right? Because if they go for goblins, it's also reach. Yeah, that's probably fine, actually. I'm going to cut these. No, Bonfire is much better than Deluge. Look, we can have proxies now. Can actually play these cards in paper. Maybe 3 Surgicals is overdoing it. I think 3 Surgicals is probably too many. I don't think we have quite enough discard spells to support that many Surgicals. I really like bringing in Pyroblast in these matchups, not because it can interact with the opponent's actual combo cards, but blasting their cantrips is pretty excellent. You consider the turn 2 Ponder with Underground Sea to play Angler with a fetch if you drew one. I mean, that doesn't actually change anything, right? I guess we get to attack them for 5. We can attack them for 5, I suppose, that way. Maybe that's meaningful, because then they would have been lower for the ad nauseum. Yeah, Miracle Bonfires have the printed CMC. So if you Miracle it for 2, it's gonna hit them for 5. Remember, sideboarding is a 1-to-1 process, so if you want me to bring in an extra card, you need to suggest a card that I cut. You need to say Surgical is worth it and it's better than X. We have Logic not over Counterspell because of the card Vial Smasher, which is the cutesy thing that our Grixis Pyromancer deck is doing this evening. Yeah, they would have only taken 4 more, right? Surgical is better than Badlands because Badlands is bad. That is a fair assessment, Bob. Could have Surgical to bring in the Surgical. That's just a good clean swap right there. Good clean swap. Yeah, so Logic Knot and Bonfire the Dam, for people asking, both work exactly the way we want them to work with Vial Smasher. So even if we delve cards for Logic Knot, it's still Vial Smashers for a bunch. One of the reasons I think to not go overboard with the Surgicals in a matchup like this is a non-zero number of Storm players have Ground Seal in their sideboard, not only for turning off Deathrite Shaman, but it makes the Surgical worse as well. Occasionally, decks like ours play Snapcaster Mage as well, so Ground Seal is very good against Snapcaster Mage also. I think this is a keep. What you got over there? What you got? Show me what you're working with. God, so smart and thin. So smart and thin. Huh. Am I supposed to just take this Ground Seal? I think I am, right? Am I, though? Am I supposed to take the Probe? Is that not? It's the Probe or the Seal, I think. The Probe's probably a little greedy. I think it's probably just the Seal. Just because Deathrite Shaman's a good draw, especially with the Past in Flames naturally in their hand. Like, taking the probe's really bad if my opponent, like, draws any other cantrip or more lands. Like, they have a lot of draws that make taking the probe pretty anemic. And the ground seal's gonna cantrip anyways, so I think I'd rather just take that. Gross, they had a Cabal Therapy? That's unfortunate. Top of the opponent's deck has been real good so far tonight. I got you, Wombat Wins. I got you. Top of our deck. Not been so hot so far this evening. Not been very hot so far. Into a Brainstorm, but I want to draw a Brainstorm opponent. Maybe we'll be really lucky and they'll miss on a land here. That'll be good for us, right? All right. I mean, so this is the point where you have to, like, holding up interaction doesn't actually kill our opponent here. So it is very correct to put the Vial Smasher into play and hope we don't die next turn and then get to start holding up Logic Knot. So I think there's a number of people that played very scared in this position, and I think that it's probably not worth playing scared, and I definitely just want to, like, make my opponent have it. If they have the things they need to kill me, go ahead and kill me. If they don't have the things to kill me, I'll be in a very good spot if I get to untap with this Vial Smasher and this Logic Knot. All right, we're gonna have 30 seconds of Huglinda. I just can't stay off Twitter. So for those of you that this fucking parody, Rich Hagen responded with, it's obviously indeed low quality. So is South Park. Great. South Park is funny at times. Also, you know what South? Oh, we're dying anyways. You know what South Park isn't? Professional. It's not professional. They just don't get it. I get that it was intended to be that way. I mean, you could argue that the way the cartoons in South Park are done is intended to be the context of the tweet chain, if you missed it. So at the Pro Tour, they did this segment that was a parody of something called Drunk History, apparently, which is a YouTube thing that I had never heard of this Drunk History thing before. So, like, while I was watching this part of the Pro Tour segment, I was just like, this is, like, very awkward and cringeworthy and doesn't really seem like something I would want on my stream of something that's part of the professional tour. Drunk History is now a major show on Comedy Central. Okay, fair. I don't watch television. When I put something on my computer screen that's a show, it's Twitch or it's Netflix or it's YouTube. And that's great. Like, you know, but like even Rich's comparison there of South Park, right? Like, South Park is funny at times, but it's definitely like got some like raunchy, crude parts in it, right? Like if I said I'm going to use South Park, something like South Park, to advertise my product on my professional tour for this product, that's something I'd be like, I probably shouldn't do that because it's raunchy and crude. Jeskai Ascendancy in the tokens deck is there to help you loot through your deck and kill your opponent faster, Yumi. At least that's what I would assume. Well, I mean, they compared it to South Park because I said it felt like it was low budget, low quality. And Rich is saying South Park is like intentionally low budget as well. It seems fine. I'm just gonna give you a timeout while I talk about this. It's not being hateful. That's providing constructive, specific feedback. That's me saying, hey, you did this thing, and it felt awkward to me, and it felt like maybe it was this inside joke, and like people are like, oh, it's like this inside joke that it's this parody of this other thing. It's like, oh, well, as someone who has no idea of what this other thing is, this just feels awkward and kind of cringy to me. Like this really low, like it felt to me watching it like they just didn't have the resources to make a better thing, or they didn't want to put the resources into making a better thing. Like it felt like something that like a bunch of high school kids would put on in their theater group over the summer, right? Like it didn't feel to me like something that was a production that $1 million company with $1 billion parent company would put out. Of course, Dan, I got you. All right, this hand's a little bit medium. Again, we don't really know what they're doing, so we're going to start with this Brainstorm, throw some of these lands back. Yeah, we are very good at drawing lands today. And that's fine. I get that it's subjective. I definitely understand if you liked it, but again, I felt like it wasn't professional to me. That's what it didn't feel like to me. It didn't feel like something that I would be like, yeah, if I've got a product and we have this professional tour, this is something I would want promoting my product. Yeah, like the Pro Tour didn't feel like the place for it because of how like subjective and awkward it kind of was. Like it seems like it could have been funny content. Like I definitely assumed that a bunch of people like enjoyed it and thought that it was like a reasonable video. Even if it wasn't for me, I can understand that. But like, I just don't feel like the professional tour is the place to air a video like that, right? Do I want to draw the logic knot? I could draw the logic knot here and then crack the fetch. Regardless of what the Pro Tour seems like it acts as, the official definition from Wizards of the Coast is that it's the professional tour, regardless of if it's a promotional tool or not. I think I actually want this logic knot here, right? There's a good chance there's some kind of combo deck with no play on turn 1 or turn 2. And then I'm just going to hold up Deathrite Shaman activation / logic knot this turn. We have the Grixis Delver, right? We don't have a bunch of clunky 3-drops. Yeah, like Nathan Holt's videos, and they actually had a Nathan Holt video that they aired at the Pro Tour too. Like his stuff, I think, is a great type of stuff to have air at the Pro Tour with what it's doing, right? Are they playing Eureka Tell? They might be playing Eureka Tell. I don't want to give comment. Let's avoid comments, giving specific comments on like what we feel about people in general. Again, I just think because of how subjective is, the thing I would want to focus on that takeaway is like, you know, what was it professional or not, and was the Pro Tour a good setting for what they did there? I don't think it was. That's what my feedback on it is. All right, let's send this bolt upstairs to Spell Pierce, sure. I guess I could have activated the Shaman second, and then I could have paid for the Pierce. So I'm definitely playing this out. I'm gonna go ahead and smack them with this Young Pyromancer. Gurmag Angler looking really awkward next to this this Logic Knot. Yeah, my point is it's like a time and place discussion, right? There's a time and place for everything. We are ranting about the dress-up videos, Gaffy. What's going on, Penguinon? Thanks for the bits. I appreciate that. There's a good chance we just drain them out here, right? Especially with, like, this Kolaghan's command in my hand, too. I think I want to be able to pay for Daze and Spell Pierce here. So we're going to go ahead and Logic Knot. Hey, Rendrag, thanks for the 5-month resubscription. I appreciate the continued support. Welcome back. There's a deck list on your screen if you click on the deck list button. If you're on mobile, you can type !deck in chat to get a link to the deck list. Just gonna counter this unless they pay 3. And like funny subjective Rendrag. So like that I don't think it's worth saying like going on, was this good or was this bad? Like, I understand both sides of like, was it good or was it bad? I think you can definitely make strong arguments for both. So like I said, again, my focus would be this didn't feel professional and didn't feel like airing it at the Pro Tour was a good setting for it. All right, am I dead? Cunning Wish. We're statistically dead here. Professional subjective to a degree professional. I feel like we could come to consensus on what is determined professional and what's not a little bit better. Oh man, are they dead? I think they're dead. I think they're dead. Like pornographic is suggestive. It's hard to define, but you know it when you see. That's a great way to put it. What counts as porn is gonna vary from person to person. And they are conveniently right at 7 here. I mean, dressing up like an owl, I wouldn't tell you that that's professional because it's fucking not professional. Well, that's a Bonfire of the Damned. That's a Bonfire of the Damned. Do I want to cast that? I can only cast it for 4. It's a shame they took this Deathrite Shaman. Do I win? They block. They go to 1. They block here. No, because the life drain's going to keep them alive, right? No, Gristlebrand's going to have to block. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're revealing Bonfire of the Damned here. So if I attack with all of these, they go block, block, and then they only take 3. So that doesn't work, because otherwise they're going to block Gurmag Angler with Gristlebrand, chat, is the problem. I'm pretty sure I just Bonfire for max here. Yeah. I think I Bonfire for max, then attack with everything. I'm pretty sure attack with everything means they're obligated to block my Gurmag, right? Because if I attack with everything and they block Pyromancer, they go up to 8 and then they take lethal. So this forces a trade here. This means they're only going to gain, they're just going to take the Gristlebrand off the table and they'll gain 2. They also cast Brainstorm last turn, which means that they know the top 2 cards of their deck. Putting them to 3 here means that they get to use the Ancient Tomb next turn, but they have Omniscience, so that doesn't matter, right? Yeah, that was close. That was close. Nico Bolas looking a little awkward there. The Planeswalkers in the Eureka deck really just seem like they're too cute in my experience. I feel like you should just have like more Emrakuls and stuff. Bolts and Fatal Pushes looking pretty bad here. Same thing with K-Command. I think Kess is actually fine because it pairs well with the discard spells. Bonfire's probably worse than Surgical Extraction. I don't think Edict is good enough. I don't think Edict is good enough. I think Teferi is good in Legacy. Maybe. There's a deck list on your screen, test subject. If you're on mobile, you could have !deck in chat to get a link to a deck list. I think Needle's okay. Needle seems a little bit narrow. I guess turning... The problem is that, like, our deck's not in a position that it can beat a 7/7 with lifelink and flying. Like, that's just, like, not a thing we really do. I think Magic is a game that's meant to be played by the rules, and if at any point you think the rules are giving a player an unfair advantage, you should be upset with how the rules are created and not be upset with the player that's trying to take advantage of a bad rule. That's my stance on rules lawyering in general. I really feel like players shouldn't direct their animosity towards the actual player if you feel like the player has wronged someone based on how a rule works. Like, the problem isn't the player. The players should be expected to take every possible chance to give themselves every possible advantage toward being able to win the game. What'd they do with their Ponder? Do they shuffle? Opponent chose not to shuffle. I think I'm going to take this show and tell, right? You're playing to win the game, especially at the professional tour. Especially at the professional tour. You're supposed to give yourself every possible advantage. Also, guess what? Again, there's this feeling among more casual players that I see constantly. This kind of spirit of that, like, anytime you get a judge involved, someone is angle shooting. Judges are there to help you. You should never be upset with someone calling a judge. You shouldn't be. If you are a competent professional Magic player or someone who understands the rules, you should never be upset that your opponent called the judge. Because guess what? If you're in the right, the judges are going to know the rules and they're going to rule in your favor. I feel like there's this idea that, like, calling a judge, like, makes you a bad player, or, like, you only call judges to get people, and, like, judges are there to make sure the game is played in the appropriate manner. They are there to help the players. I think I'm supposed to Pyroblast this because it feels to me like my opponent's a Eureka deck, which means I might not be able to Pyroblast their actual show and tell. The judges are definitely human and can make mistakes on occasion, but by and large, the judges aren't there to intentionally make mistakes and get you. They are there to make sure the game is played by the rules. Okay, so like, so you're saying the player lied? Are you saying if they lied, that's a DQable offense? So is that the position you're taking? You're saying one of the players at the Pro Tour lied about his opponent? Were you there listening to everything both players said? Or are you being judge, jury, and executioner without having all of the information? Because the internet fucking loves to do that too. They love to like shit on someone who's trying to play the game by the rules and call a judge. Like, you see that constantly in lots of different places online. Players who think everything always works out in a specific way and calling a judge is bad, and it's very, very bothersome. As someone who played the game very competitively for a very long time, I played the game by the rules and I expected my opponents to play the game by the rules. And the people that wanted to throw me under the bus at times for playing the game by the rules, fuck them. Because I showed up and I spent 40 hours that week practicing Magic, and I traveled, 6 or 10 hours, whatever. You better believe I expected my opponent to play the game by the rules. That's probably a good YouTube one. Yeah, I probably want to make a note to clip that one for later. Or how many, what's the time period? Hour 6, hour... And like I said, if a player was lying to try and gain an advantage, that's wrong. Lying to gain an advantage is against the rules, and it's wrong, and you shouldn't do it. But if a player was playing the game within the rules and called the judge because they thought something had been done incorrectly, that's fine. You should never crucify a player for doing that. What's going on, Shannon? We're in a pretty good spot here, right? We've got Logic Knot plus a Force of Will to back up the Logic Knot. We got a pretty quick lock here. Someone was claiming that there was angle shooting and rules lawyering that occurred at the Pro Tour. And my stance on that is that if you think someone's rules lawyering, then you should probably, and you think a rule is bad, you shouldn't be upset with a player for trying to leverage a rule in their favor. I logic knotted for an extra one here, just in case. Do I just logic knot again? And I should just logic knot again here instead of forcing, right? Because I can actually hard cast this Force of Will next turn. Yeah, that's the play. I'm going to do it for 2 again, just in case there's a Simian Spirit Guide hiding over there. We can afford to do it for 2. I'm going to do it for 2. It was a Grishelbrand player, actually, but yeah, I'm familiar with that case, too. Believe it or not, I'm on the Pithing Needle side of that case, too. And again, like, I'm not going to say that the Magic tournament rules are perfect, because there's definitely not. And there's definitely a number of feel-bad moments that can be built into the Magic tournament rules. What I am saying is that if there are things that you think are actively wrong with the Magic tournament rules that create these feel-bads that shouldn't happen, you should be upset with Wizards of the Coast and the people that make Magic the Gathering and have the power to change those rules. Because getting upset with this player and vilifying this player isn't going to prevent that same bad rule from getting someone else in the future. The player is just there to give themselves the best possible advantage to win the game legally within the rules, ideally. What's going on, Steven? Good evening. And there's going to be people that segment makes me unpopular with, and that's fine. If you don't think games should be played by the rules, if you think people that practice a bunch, like, all right, before we move on to the last batch leader, I'd just like to say good morning, afternoon, and good night to everybody wherever you're at in the world. Quick chill segment. My name is Jeff Hoagland. We're ranting, we're playing some Legacy, hanging out. I'm a full-time streamer and content producer here on Twitch. I stream a ton of Magic. I stream some Hearthstone. I stream some Hex. We focus mostly on non-rotating formats. Lots of Modern, lots of Legacy, some Vintage. If you're enjoying my stuff, please consider subscribing to my channel. My subscribers are a big part of why I'm able to stream full-time here. You can also support my stuff by checking out some of my wonderful sponsors. MTGOtraders.com would love to buy and sell some Magic Online cards with you. And if you use code Hoagland PayPal at checkout with them, you'll save 8% on your singles orders there. CoolStuffInc.com buys and sells a lot of cool stuff, including TCG singles. Using promo code Jeff5, you can save 5% on Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards with them. InkedGaming.com would love to help you customize your gaming experience using code Jeff12. You can save 12% on custom playmats, mouse pads, binders, and bags there. And of course, myself and the wonderful staff here would like to welcome everyone to Hoaglandia. Please talk to your friendly neighborhood moderator about your complimentary timeout. You see my above about switch over to Arena as possible eventual. Maybe, I actually missed that. But yeah, they actually have stated, they're on record. Like, whenever people talk about MTG Arena just being this like Duels of the Planeswalkers throwaway clone, like, they have stated that they would like to use Arena for high-end tournaments. And I think that's a good goal. I think the lack of cheating and the lack of judge angle and just like the client enforcing all the rules, I think that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing by and large. Alec, thank you for the 4-month Twitch primary subscription. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thank you for the third of a year of support. Got you, Thomas. Set phasers to stun. Not only would digital be better for preventing cheating, it's also just much better for coverage, right? Jeff, what did you do? I'm playing the Black-Green Tireless Tracker beer match. Dark Drew 213, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime sub. No, there's a lot of great people making a lot of great content on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month. Based on the responses from the MTG Arena staff, it does not seem like they have plans to put non-rotating formats like Modern and Legacy into Arena. There's always some amount of people that whenever I say digital is better for content, there's some amount of people, it's the cat poop rant, right? Like, I say cat poop smells bad, and there's somebody in the audience that's like, no, I like how cat poop smells. And it's like, sure. What I'm saying is technically subjective. What I mean by and large is that the majority of people prefer watching something like MTGO or Magic Arena compared to paper content because it's just easier to follow what's going on a screen like this. It's just easier to follow. As someone who's put the time and energy into doing paper streams, by and large, the people that really don't like paper streams, they just don't speak up. They don't tell you that they dislike it. What are your opinions on the implementation of the timer in MTG and Arena? I really like what Arena is trying to do with its timer. That being said, they need a fix for combo decks of some sort. Huh. That's interesting. So I really kind of wanted to bolt this. But now, since I drew these two, I kind of want to just, like, put these two back and then go Pyromancer Probe. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that, actually. I'm going to put these two back, and I'm going to go land Pyromancer Probe, and then we'll draw the Gurmag. Yeah, I think you're, like, as far as my experience shows, Milla, I think you're in the minority. Like, not only is digital content easier to make, but it's far more popular. All right, so we are like, opponent is playing max greed nonsense here. Just the blue cantrips aren't enough from them. They've got Faithless Looting in their deck too. That's something. Okay. So, oh, they don't have a fetch land currently, huh? That's good for us. On Reddit, that you have wrong opinions and punch people at MTG tournaments. What's going on, Ed, bro? For the record, I think Arena looks great by and large. Wait, are they playing a non-blue deck, actually? They have a plateau in their deck. I said the words the blue cantrips weren't enough. I wonder if they're not playing blue cards. Maybe they're on 4-color no blue Deathrite Shaman mush? Yeah, I just got there. The plateau made me do a double take. Maybe they're playing Faithless Looting instead. The probes are kind of throwing me, though. Punishing Fire. I think I just let this happen, right? I think I just let this happen. They have the Grove, but hopefully, like, my tokens plus Gurmag Angler can, like, run them down. If we draw a fetch land here, we're still going to be short of playing the Gurmag Angler. I gotta shuffle that, right? I guess I could take the Kolaghan's command out of their hand. I guess the Therapy's pretty good here. I guess I'm going to keep the Therapy. Oh, if I forced, I could have exiled with the Shaman. Yeah, that's super true. That probably was a better line. You've made my bed, and now we're going to lie down in it. Hey, Jeff and chat, I'm considering getting into Hex's Immortals. Anybody know if the monitor... Yeah, I think it is. It top-8'd... I didn't see the results from their Immortal Championship today, but it's been successful in the past. And that's actually one of the decks that I want to play a little bit because I like that archetype a lot. So we'll just flash this back and take their other Shaman away. So it's very possible that this Gurmag Angler gets to kind of run away with the game here. Because now we have enough cards in our bin that I can draw the Ponder next turn, ponder into a red source, both the Deathrite Shaman and play the Gurmag Angler all out, which then, like, we could kill our opponent before they have time to really stabilize. I think if you were going to have tournaments on something like Arena or stuff like that in large tournaments, you'd have to have them in person just to protect from the axis of people basically, you know, having outside assistance and cheating effectively. Am I supposed to push the Shaman? I think I am. That also lets me save the Bolt for reach later, potentially, which is nice. I haven't played any Standard, so I don't have an educated or informed opinion on it. I just try not to comment on things I'm not educated about. The main component of Arena that would improve high-end... Oh, yeah, you don't have to worry about cheating. You don't have to worry about making sure your opponent's playing by the rules. You don't have to even just worry about honest mistakes, right? Like, it's not even just cheating. Like, people make mistakes because Magic's complicated all the time. The question wasn't push versus Lightning Bolt. The question was push or cast the Gurmag Angler, because I could have cast the Gurmag Angler that turn. So sorry if that wasn't clear. My pause there might have sounded like Lightning Bolt versus push, but that was not my intention. My intention was to say, do I push or do I Gurmag Angler this turn? Souls is a good pickup. Their deck's sweet. Deck is sweet. The probe makes me think they must have like Pyromancer Therapy, maybe. I'm trying to think like why do they have probe in their deck? Nah, I feel like the 56 card deck isn't enough upside. So, I guess I'm just shipping, right? I don't really own any paper cards that are worth anything, no. I own... This is going to be a chump block, right? Yeah. I own a couple of what are like effectively throwaway cards. I actually think the Sultai deck is a Liliana of the Veil. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I think the Sultai deck kind of transitioned into... Oh, Shadow Whispers? Oh, I don't think the Shadow decks are very good at the moment. They feel kind of clunky and awkward. That's probably the game, right? Yeah, that's probably the game. Alright, let's get these awkward counter spells out of our deck and get some more cards that play to the board. This is probably a Blood Moon matchup, huh? These are all the cards I feel like I wanted to glance. My opponent's deck is likely to get empty-handed pretty quickly most of the time, so these Cabal Therapies are probably a trim. I can just bring in like a Flusterstorm as a way to counter something on random. Now I'm going to leave one Logic Knot in, actually. Yeah, let's do that. Bonfire seems pretty good here. Not only the amounts of aggressive strategies, but like also just like the fair decks run over you. The shadow decks by and large try to prey on like spell-based combo decks, and humans have largely pushed spell-based combo decks out of the format. Is Needle good enough? I don't think so. I think I'd rather just have like a counter spell than a Needle. You could also argue like all these Surgicals are maybe overboard, but I guess they have Souls plus Punishing Fire. Yeah, 3 Surgicals is probably fine. Yeah, maybe. You could probably make an argument for that, Doogie. Just like the card's not getting much value anyways, so might as well cash it in. The downside is that like if I drew another Pyromancer holding the therapy had value. You also had the Mechanical Hurdle, you can't tell. So like for every change, it puts those in different places, Sneak TB. So like I agree that like misclicks are a thing, but like you also have random elements that you don't have to keep track of. Like you don't have to make sure, what's a great example? You don't have to make sure that you like shuffled all 60 cards back into your deck, or you didn't drop a card on the floor, or you don't drop your deck face up while you're shuffling, or you don't accidentally shuffle at an angle that lets your opponent see what archetype you're playing. So for every disadvantage you gain with digital, there's also advantages that you gain. I would argue, Bat Jones, that anything that you are allowed to do within the confines of the rules should not be considered disrespectful. I think if you're this is not war. We're not killing actual people. We are playing a children's fucking card game. And people talk about like the morality of what you do in the card game. Guess what? In my opinion, if it's legal within the rules, it's not amoral to do it. It's not immoral to do it if you're playing in a competitive setting. And now I'll say that with the asterisk that there is a difference between a competitive setting and Friday Night Magic, right? Like, you shouldn't take every possible advantage of the rules at Friday Night Magic against the kid who's playing their first Magic tournament. Context matters. When I'm talking about this, I'm talking about it specifically in the context of a competitive tournament setting. Competitive tournament setting is what I'm talking about it in. People like to talk about morality all the time and how it's associated with these things. And it's mind-boggling to me that you could consider different things you can do in a children's card game moral or immoral. Which why is, again, that being said, you know, all of that again comes back to, do I think all rules in Magic are automatically good? No, there's definitely shitty rules in Magic, but like, it's not the person who's playing the game by the rule you don't like. It's not their fault that the rule is the way it is. So you should direct your feedback and your animosity, if you have any, towards the people that could change those rules. Those are the people you want to get your feedback to. If you don't like the rules of the game, talk to the people that can change those rules. All right, look at that. Probe put shit up here now. I guess I'm just passing, right? All right, when they name Blood Moon here, we'll just concede because they're ghosting. Yeah, God bless you, opponent. Not being a scumbaggery. And again, like, ghosting's actually a great example of that, right? Like, if my opponent wants to ghost, I am offering them the ability to ghost, and they're allowed to do so. They're allowed to take that competitive advantage that I'm offering up to them. It's on Wizards of the Coast to say, ghosting isn't allowed, you shouldn't ghost. Wizards is the company that has the power to make ghosting against the rules. All right, so I really don't want to wait a turn on this Blood Moon, right? I really just want to slam the Blood Moon, and they're going to red blast this Jace anyways. So I'm going to put back this and this. I'm going to crack this for a swamp and cast this Blood Moon. 2 rules: don't cheat, 2, don't lose. Yep, those are great rules. I agree with those. And they'll probably pick up the Punishing Fire in response, then I can surgically extract them. The question isn't whether it's allowed, it's by its very nature. They were certainly allowed. However, the better question is, should people do it? Does that make it better? We should be, no, it's not. That's, okay, so I'm timing you out because you said that twice now. The thing, you're telling me, yeah, because it's the second time you faced it, and that's what I was responding to last time. You're saying it's not respectful to play the fucking children's card game by the rules. It is. Guess what? The rules of the game are, did I click on the wrong card? I might have clicked on the wrong card. You should play the children's card game by the rules. You should play the children's card game by the rules. And if the rules aren't it's not rude or immoral or wrong to play the card game by the rules. Sorry, it's not. In my opinion, that's subjective. If you want to bring morality into your children's card game and tell me, oh, we get their sweet deck list too. It's another upside to surgical. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this whole thing. This deck list is kind of sweet. All right, mid rant. Gotta take a picture of the sweet deck for later. Or Bedlam Reveler deck? No Pyromancers. Interesting. So they're playing the probes to fuel the Bedlam Revelers. That's neat. I like it. I like it. What was in their hand? Their hand is Edict, Lily, Red, and they have Souls, and they're gonna add they're not gonna add a Punishing Fire. What about something that toes the line? We see players who actively distract others in poker tournaments be shamed, even though it's technically allowed. If it is allowed by the fucking rules of the game, you shouldn't give players shit for doing it. And if we as a community think that something that's allowed by the rules of the game is wrong and shouldn't be allowed, you should change the rule so it's not allowed. That comes back to the same thing I just said. You get warnings from Tor. Is that supposed to be distractors? I think it says directors. I think it's probably supposed to be distractors. So let's take one of my cards away here. The rules of your competitive game in such a way that doesn't stop people from doing things they will do it. Yes, I agree with that. Angle shooting is against the rules in tournament poker. What does that mean? You're not allowed to play the game by the rules? What is define angle shooting? No, I believe in the children's card game that we play, the rules are written down in a book that you can reference. And if I can't reference the rule in the book, if the rule book doesn't say I can't do it, you can and should do it if it gives you a competitive advantage. There's a rule worth following. It's worth writing. I like that statement. That's a good one. For people that are coming in halfway, the thing we were talking about is someone brought up that apparently people felt someone at the table was, someone at the Pro Tour was angle shooting. I've played poker at a casino several times, but I've never played it in what would be considered a professional setting. That's not angle shooting. Sorry. That's within the rules. Kent Ketter didn't do anything wrong in that instance. Kent Ketter played the game by the fucking rules of the game. And if what he did there you think is wrong and shouldn't be allowed, you should ask Wizards of the Coast, the company that makes the rules of the children's card game, to say this isn't allowed. That's what you should say. When I am very good friends with Kent Ketter, and I am certainly biased here. Just full discourse. Kent is someone that I've traveled with, and Kent is someone that spent time at my house and knows my family. Kent is a genuinely good person who played the game by the rules. And there were a bunch of very casual Magic players that were very upset that the game was played by the rules, and they wanted to vilify him for that. Sorry, if you think what he did was wrong, you should say, hey, Wizards of the Coast, this is wrong and players shouldn't be allowed to do this. Make a rule that says you can't do this. That's where I stand on it. I have a math degree. I have a very technical background. I do computer programming. I don't that quote someone said earlier, if it's worth being a rule, it's worth writing down. That is a fantastic fucking quote that I will just use every time this comes up in the future. Yeah, his new job has kept him real busy. It's Dr. Peasy. Okay, we got 2 Bonfire of the Dams in our deck. None of those are Bonfire, but we got some pretty good cards here, right? I can play Vial Smasher and Young Pyromancer this turn, and the next turn I can jam this Gurmag Angler. Goblin Chain Whirler would be quite excellent here. You are not wrong. I guess we can't cast it, right? It's triple red. How would you confront the concept of sportsmanship and rule? When someone, in my mind, things that are bad sportsmanship are things like not shaking your opponent's hand at the end of the game, spitting on your opponent, like doing things that are actively offensive, taking advantage of a rule of the game that to make a legal play is not bad sportsmanship in my mind. To me, it is not. That's not bad sportsmanship. That's playing the game by the rules of the game that we've all agreed to play the game by. We all sat down at this tournament and agreed we were going to play this children's card game by a specific set of rules. Table flipping, yeah, slamming the table, stuff like that. That's poor sportsmanship. Playing the game by the rules, that's not poor sportsmanship. We are dead because the collective brutality drained us there. We didn't really have any lines to not be dead. Maybe you could argue I should have unsummoned with my Jace, but I really wanted to get a Brainstorm in. All right, Grixis Vial Smasher. My wife resubscribing for the 24th month in a row. Thanks for donating some of our money back to Twitch, wife. All right, so believe it or not, chat, this deck, while looking super adorable with Vial Smasher, this is a bad 4-color control, bad Grixis Delver, bad whatever you want to call it, deck. Like, we died to combo decks because we just had, like, these really clunky, expensive cards in our hand instead of, like, really efficient threats that were going to end the game very quickly. So, well, I think Vial Smasher is kind of a cute card. I don't really like this shell for it. We played a Vial Smasher shell on a previous stream way back. It might have even been last year at this point. That it was like Vial Smasher splashed into a blue-red Delver deck, so it was like a more burn-focused deck, and that build actually felt okay. But this kind of like mid-rangey mush in a format of like really efficient other mid-rangey mush decks, I think this wasn't particularly good.